A resplendent evening to all the lovely viewers. On behalf of Dr. Bilal Clinical Laboratory, I welcome you all for today's Doc Talk on pandemic and maternity, in which we will be talking about pregnancy and post-pregnancy care during COVID-19. The talk is powered by Dr. Bilal Pharmacy, Cocoon Hospital, and Vanity Clinic. For this talk, we have with us two eminent gynecologists of Jaipur from Cocoon Hospital. The first speaker is Dr. Preeti Sharma, and the second speaker is Dr. Anupama Gangwal, senior gynecologists. We welcome you both, ma'am. So before
Thank you.
I
Thank you, and hello to everyone.
Good evening.
So before I start with the session, I would like to share with all the viewers that if you have any questions or queries, kindly drop them down in the comments. So, hello ma'am, I would like to start the session with the first question to Dr. Preeti. Ma'am, has the COVID-19 changed the scenario for pregnant women or is it the same?
No, COVID-19 has changed everybody's life. Actually, this novel coronavirus or SARS-CoV-2, COVID-2, as what we know, it is a new virus. And what we are facing in this pandemic is actually an evolving situation. Even what we'll be talking today is something which will require updates like maybe even every week. So because we are just learning how to deal with the virus. And of course, things have changed, especially in pregnancy because two lives are involved there. So we all are learning to live in a new way.
Okay. Ma'am, I would then is then in this current scenario of COVID-19,
Yeah.
are the pregnant women at more risk?
No, actually, it is not that pregnancy causes the women to be at higher risk of catching COVID, but because pregnancy itself deals or rather changes the immune system of the patients. Therefore, sometimes they may react more seriously to the virus, especially along the third trimester. Otherwise, the risk of catching COVID is almost like the same, like in every other general population, which means we have to take the same precautions to prevent COVID in pregnancy as we have to take otherwise, like social distancing, hand hygiene. All those precautions have to be maintained so that in pregnancy, the women is not uh, exposed or comes in contact with the COVID virus.
Okay. Anupama ma'am, I would like to ask the next question to you. Is there a chance that the fetus gets infected if the mother is infected with COVID-19?
See, the preliminary research and the current studies say that it is not a vertically transmitted infection. That is, the mother will not transfer the infection to the baby. This is what the current, conclusions, the studies, and most of the studies have been done in the Chinese population. And this is what it says, that the infection is, there is no vertical transmission. If there is transmission, then it is due to contact, right? Although there have been newborns just who have tested positive in patients who have been tested positive or mothers who have been tested positive, yet it is more or less a conclusion, and the research is still on, that it was not vertically transmitted.
Yeah, in one or two patients or one or two studies, it has been shown that the neonate's serum has IgM against the corona, which means because it has, the neonate is capable of developing antibodies against the coronavirus in the mother.
That has been
But
shown after 7 to 14 days.
yeah, so but it is really not something what we should be worried of, because it is not proven that there will be a vertical transmission.
Yeah.
Okay. Preeti ma'am, the next question is for you. Can a COVID-19 infected mother deliver a child safely?
Yes, the patient can deliver the child safely, There is no change even in the mode of delivery. It all depends upon the obstetric indications which are involved. We would only be worried if the mother is very seriously sick. At that time, she has to be taken care of, like if she has pneumonia or maybe hypoxia or a serious condition. In there, we have to attend the mother maybe with a ventilator or other supports.
I'd like to add a line here that if you, the institution which is providing the care does a proper labor triage, you know, they have a proper triage unit, proper maternity care, proper dedicated maternity unit, COVID unit, then she will definitely deliver safely. So the thing to be followed here is a labor triage. Are you getting it, or is it too medical jargon? Do I
No,
clarify?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am, of course.
See, what I want to say is about this triage is that when the unit which is treating these they should have dedicated COVID unit when they are taking care in mothers who are infected with COVID-19. So if they have a special unit which, selects just infected, not infected, not symptomatic, in contact, they divide the patients like that, then they can give them full care and deliver them safely. Okay, is it clear? Better?
Yes, ma'am, better. So, Anupama ma'am, can an infected mother continue with the breastfeeding?
Yes, she can. Actually, she can definitely breastfeed. If she's not too sick, then definitely she can breastfeed. Only thing is she has to do the five. The WHO do the five. You know, she must wear a mask. She must do a 20-second hand wash every time she feeds. She should not allow, many other people handling. Only one or two restricted attendants who are attending the mother should be allowed. There shouldn't be many people in the room, not too many, things cluttered around in the room. And then the normal do the five also involves that she should not be coughing and sneezing on the baby. Use the tissue and then discard it immediately. Use the elbow. And so if she follows that do the five, she can easily breastfeed the baby.
Because
breast milk
this
which
coronavirus is not present in the
not
breast.
transferred through the breast milk. It is through contact.
But of course, it is the wish of the baby, whether it's mother, if she wants to breastfeed or not. In case she decides not to breastfeed, or maybe if she has some other indication of not breastfeeding directly, she can of course use the breast pump. But in that case, the transfer of the milk should be done by a person who is wearing proper PPE kit and gloves, and so that that doesn't become a source of infection to the baby. And that time, sometimes the babies need to be isolated, maybe kept in the nursery. And when the mother's direct contact is not allowed, then proper care still has to be taken. But of course, the breast milk is the best milk for the mother,
Yeah,
for the baby.
breast milk is best for her, for the baby.
Right. So, Preeti ma'am, as Anupama ma'am mentioned, that a mother should be wearing a mask. So, is there a probability that, many people are saying, and there have been studies like mask can cause oxygen deficiency. So, is there a probability that it can cause that oxygen deficiency in the child and mother both?
No. Wearing a mask by a pregnant lady would not cause oxygen deficiency to either to the mother or to the baby, because the mother is able to breathe through the mask, and the oxygen saturation would be perfect. And in any case, when the patient is in labor, then the patient has to be monitored by counting her oxygen respiratory rate, and also the oxygen saturation has to be monitored of the patient as soon as she enters into the hospital, while she's in the labor, and maybe frequently, so that we know that she is getting proper oxygen. But because of wearing a mask, I'm sure the baby would not suffer from any hypoxia.
Not at all. We all are wearing masks. We are not oxygen deficient because of that. Each one of us is wearing it day in and out, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. Right. So, Anupama ma'am, are there any what are the precautions that should be maintained post pregnancy for the mother and the newborn child? Yeah, post pregnancy.
Post pregnancy. So now see, post-pregnancy, again, the same rule, do the five. That is the mother and the baby. Oh, are we talking about those who are infected, the COVID-19, or those who have not been infected?
Ma'am, normal, like a pregnant, normal, not infected also.
Normal
Yeah.
non-pregnant woman who has delivered, and see if she has no history of contact or travel, or if she's not a likely suspect for COVID-19, then she takes all precautions like we all are doing, so that the baby and the mother, that is, there should be less, no visitors are not to be allowed, just about the necessary attendant. Again, hand hygiene is most important. Same, do the five is what I keep on telling you once over and over again. That is, no coughing and sneezing. Then see that the attendant who is there is also properly washing hands, and if necessary is isolated again from all the other people. They should have a clean ventilated room to themselves, and this in general, the basic hygiene that we follow for stay at home, of course, is the dictum of corona. Stay at home.
So it would be advisable if there's a single attendant with a mother right from the labor till the post, and also in the post delivery period, and that person should preferably have tested COVID-19 negative, and or so should not have any history of travel or contact, etc. And that person should not also be moving out. Like both the mother, the child, and the attendant should be isolated for as long as possible, so that there is no chance of getting infection. So we have two problems here. One is that we have to prevent infection to the pregnant mother. And the second scenario is, of course, if the mother is infected, then to provide safe care to that person. So here we are talking about preventing infection to the mother and the newborn, so
And
that we
ma'am,
have
what,
safety there.
yeah, and what in case if the mother is infected?
If the mother is infected,
Yes.
first of all, there's no need to panic. Majority of these cases have only mild to moderate symptoms, and they might have some flu, fever, cough, sore throat. And while if we are monitoring them by monitoring their temperature and respirate and oxygen saturation, most of them can be managed easily. It's only few cases who go into serious conditions, which I talked earlier, something like pneumonia or maybe hypoxia. They need to be supported well. So we have to keep a very, very close watch on these patients.
Have a
So
dedicated, isolated corona care unit like that. If you have a COVID ward or a COVID isolated ward, then we can keep a watch on them instead of mixing them with other normal other patients.
obviously, they would need a separate labor room to deliver. We
Yeah.
can't deliver them with the other patients.
Right. So, Anupama ma'am, can you suggest some immunity tips, the immunity boosting tips for the pregnant women and the new mothers?
See, in generally speaking, there is nothing specific that is going to boost your immunity against corona, except your social distancing. You don't go out much or at all. You stay at home, don't interact with many people, maintain your hand hygiene. That is there. This is the general rule which applies to pregnant or non-pregnant. The other thing that she can do is she can, be very careful about what she's eating. She eats a very healthy, nutritious diet, which has a lot of micronutrients in it also. Especially, it has been, they documented that vitamin C supplements, vitamin D levels, and other micronutrients should be at a good level, or they should be taken regularly. She should have lots sips of warm water every day. Avoid a food that will cause soreness in the throat, let is ice cold waters or even ice creams or anything that is very cold, very hot and spicy, that might affect her throat, make her susceptible to the flu, has to be avoided. So and then of course, all pregnant women should be taking some form of daily exercise. She can do pregnancy yogas at home. She can do some breathing exercises at home. She can walk at home itself. So in general, there is nothing specific. The aim is to stay healthy, and that's how you boost your immunity.
So immunity is also boosted by keeping a very high positive attitude. As we know, during these COVID times, pregnant women are so many times just very anxious. So keeping a positive attitude that this is a problem they can easily deal with also helps in keeping the immunity high. And plus things like maybe taking some haldi and adrak or chawanprash and all the amla, all these things which will generally, and even nibu pani, all these things help in supporting to keep your immunity up. And do not fast during these days. Just eat well. Eat well, be happy. That will keep your immunity up.
Right, ma'am. Preeti ma'am, like you said, be happy. So we all know that stress and anxiety are not things that a pregnant woman should be suffering from. So what do you say? Has this COVID-19 scenario added to this stress and anxiety for these pregnant women?
Oh, yes, of course. First of all, these late patients are worried about the COVID-19 infection itself because it is all over in the TV, on the media every day. We are just talking about COVID. So that makes them very anxious. And secondly, because of social isolation or the social distancing which we are maintaining these days, the patient is not able to get enough of family or friend support. Plus, there can be a question of financial difficulties as well because people have lost jobs and they may be worried about their finances. So all these things are of course there, but and of one thing other is when because they are not in close contact with their doctors these days because
Yes.
of this telemedicines and WhatsApp. So that reassurance of seeing your doctor's face is because of the minimized interaction also creates more stress and
Yes,
anxiety in
that
them.
is what I wanted to add also. It was common practice, for pregnant women to keep frequently visit their obstetrician, ask their advice. And now they feel at a loss, And although teleconsultation does cover up a bit, but in our country, teleconsultation is pretty new. And so not all people are happy about it. So that feeling that she'd go to the hospital for frequent checkups is increases her apprehension that I don't know what will happen. Will the doctor be available? Then there was a lot of scare, doctors not accepting COVID patients. So all that has added to the anxiety and apprehension of these patients. But the healthcare worker comes in here. They need to reassure them continuously, either by teleconsultation or telling them about their milestone visits, that their milestone visits have to be done and we will be there at those times, like at the 13, 12 and 13 weeks, 19 weeks, 32 weeks. So will you tell them that these milestones, if covered, the pregnancy is likely to go on smoothly?
Right. This was the next question I was about to ask you, ma'am. Like the regular visits, or it should be like only when needed. But you've answered it like in a very good way.
No, pretty much
So
elaborate more
So
on it, definitely.
I think we must emphasize to those ladies that maternity care is essential. We cannot just totally avoid antenatal care. It has taken years to develop the system of antenatal care, which we are following, and it actually helps the women to stay away from so many complications in pregnancy. So, and we must assure them that our maternity units work in such a way that they will not increase the transmission of COVID to them in any way. All precautions of PPE kit and social distancing and even hand sanitization and maintaining the sanitization of the clinic, they are all maintained when a pregnant woman visits. And so these visits are only by appointment so that they can be taken good care of and they do not increase the risk of causing this infection.
She must feel
Yeah.
safe that yes, when she's visiting her doctor, she's not likely to get an infection because the doctor and the clinic and the hospital, they're all being extra cautious.
okay, so ma'am, is there any need that there should be regular COVID screening during pregnancy or after pregnancy?
Uh, Regular COVID screening is not actually required in throughout the pregnancy, but at term, like maybe say 5 days or so before her expected date of delivery, or like operative delivery like cesarean, that time it must be done. In case she lands up in emergency in the hospital, then COVID test is sent immediately so that we know her status, just so that she's safe for other patients as well, and we know in case she develops any complications, we know what to do.
And of course, if you mean screening, this is where the history comes into play. If she has traveled abroad, if she has had any contact with an affected person, then we need to screen her. Otherwise, not all pregnant women would be screened, except those who are going to deliver. That will be for her safety and for the baby's safety.
So, Anupama ma'am, how can we monitor that a newborn has a COVID infection?
Has.
Yes, like if somebody need we if mothers
Mean to
might be
say,
in a like
how
family
can
might
the
be.
mother be alert? You want to ask that what should she look for?
Yeah, what should she look for? Like the family might be concerned if the baby is safe.
Okay, see, so there are no specific signs and symptoms. It presents in very different ways. You have to be very alert. If the baby is normally, it's just a flu. So, of temperature, lethargy. Sometimes it presents with GI symptoms, gastrointestinal babies having lots of diarrhea. So I think they must immediately get in touch with their pediatrician that the baby or not accepting feeds. So these are the things that mothers and parents normally run to the pediatrician for. And here also, because if they have any doubts like an exposure or if the mother has been infected, so it's the time to be alert that the baby is not showing all these symptoms. The baby will not show respiratory symptoms very early. So by that time it could be late. So
Sometimes they present just with drowsiness.
yes,
And
just lethargy and drowsiness. So they have to be alert on the watch that the baby is doing well, feeding well, and does not show any fever or nose,
and
running nose or things like
as
that.
long as it is active and feeding, probably
Yeah.
things are fine.
Just like a normal baby. That is what the other babies, when they are resort to pediatric help, is when accepting feeds. Did you hear me, Apurva?
No, ma'am, I suppose there was some internet issue.
Yes, these glitches are always there.
Right. So, ma'am, any takeaway messages from your side for the pregnant ladies and for the new mothers?
Um, well, I think it is in this aspect, not much has changed. Every pregnant mother should be careful about her diet, about her, again, as we talked about immunity. Immunity comes from a healthy diet, good sleep, and sufficient amount of exercise. She should not be very inactive, and she should not be very afraid. There are dedicated units serving her. The hospitals are taking good care, good precautions so that she does not get infected. And in general, one is not to be so scared of this kind of situation. Yes, I agree that at one time it seemed like an existential crisis, but then, of course, medicine has won and will keep on winning. So I don't think so. There is much to be afraid of if in good hands. Preeti ma'am will
No,
add more.
no, no. What I realize is now that now we have all agreed to the fact that we have to learn to live with this COVID. It is not something which is going to go away soon. So there's nothing to panic about. We have to learn whatever these things which we have learned to maintain social distance, to maintain your immunity against the disease. That is something which we have to keep up forever. And there's no time when no time, or at least no time very soon, when we'll be like exactly COVID free. So I think that is it. We must develop more our immunity, because each body reacts differently to the virus. So it is important that our immunity is strong. Come what may, we'll be able to overcome that disease. That should be our situation.
Thank you, ma'am. And done with the pool of questions that I had for you both. So I heartily thank you both for providing us the vital information as per the need of the hour. And I hope that all the questions and concerns which were going inside our viewers' mind were resolved with this talk. I would also like to thank the viewers to listen to this talk patiently. And if any one of you has any questions, or even if you want to book appointments with the doctors, please do mention in the comments. And I would also like to request you all to share this talk with your family and the friends and help us spread this awareness around. Hope you all have a safe journey ahead. Thank you.